Mitsuo's tale begins with her tumbling from a precipice. Upon regaining consciousness, she's bewildered in a vast meadow, piecing together her memories. She recalls the shove that sent her over the edge and the tragic loss of her family in an accident. Pondering her brother's likely reaction, she concludes she must be alive, given her sensations of hunger and discomfort, and thus in a foreign realm. With no signs of civilization, she wanders for days until encountering Colette, a local girl. Language barriers notwithstanding, Mitsuo manages to convey her name, much to Colette's delight. The following dawn, Mitsuo awakens, her injuries mysteriously healed. Observing the primitive nature of this world, she reassures a concerned Colette of her recovery. Joining Colette in plant foraging, Mitsuo reflects on her brother's protective instincts. Their tranquility is shattered by wolves, prompting Mitsuo to aid Colette's escape up a tree. In her attempt to divert the wolves, Mitsuo stumbles, but a sudden teleportation brings her back to her Japanese home. Realizing her experience was real, she arms herself with her brother's slingshot and knife and returns to Colette's aid. Ingeniously, she uses the slingshot and spices to fend off the wolf attack. Exhausted, Mitsuo loses consciousness and finds herself conversing with a lucky cat statue in a surreal void. The statue, an advanced energy being seeking amusement, reveals that Mitsuo inadvertently absorbed some of its power. It grants her the abilities to traverse worlds and heal rapidly, as well as comprehend various languages before departing. Awakening in Colette's home, Mitsuo can now understand and speak with her. She feigns memory recovery, earning gratitude and gold from Colette's father for her bravery. Contemplating her newfound powers, Mitsuo strategizes to amass wealth by introducing Earth's commodities to this less advanced world. She calculates needing billions of yen to secure her future in both realms. As Mitsuo learns of the local nobility and plans her journey to the capital, Colette overhears and expresses reluctance to part ways. Mitsuo reassures her with promises of return and sets forth to the lord's town, aiming for noble patronage before advancing to the royal capital. Amidst her plans, Mitsuo is struck by a mundane realization: she desperately needs a bath. Mitsuo requests the coachman to halt in a secluded spot, then vanishes to her abode via teleportation. Post-shower, she liquidates her assets into cash. Her newfound linguistic prowess aids her in navigating international websites, leading her to discover Wolf's Fang, a security firm. Pinpointing their South American base using digital maps, she teleports there, bribes a guard, and secures an audience with the leader. After verifying the otherworldly gold's value at $200 per piece, she calculates a target of 80,000 gold pieces to reach her financial goal. A bargain is struck for firearms and combat training. Further research into medieval commerce informs her product selection for trade. She acquires jewelry and commissions a bespoke ensemble. Fully equipped, she re-enters the alternate world, only to be rebuffed at the Lord's estate for lack of an appointment. A passing carriage carrying the Lord's sons presents an opportunity. Mitsuo teleports ahead, ignites firecrackers to spook the horses, and feigns injury from the carriage's tumult. The concerned sons escort her inside, where she encounters Lord Claus, who extends his apologies. Presenting herself as a noble from Japan, her elegant attire lends credibility. She recounts a fabricated tale of survival and expresses gratitude, offering a Swiss Army knife as a token, which piques their interest. Claus, intrigued by her journey to the capital, invites her to stay overnight due to the late hour, despite her claims of pennilessness, a claim he finds odd given the value of her gift. Adorned in her dress, Mitsuo dines with Claus's family, his wife Iris, sons Alexis and Theo, and daughter Beatrice. Despite her disappointment with the meal's quality, she maintains decorum, concealing her critique behind courteous gestures. Post-dinner, Lord Claus probes into Mitsuo's true identity. She weaves a tale of her escape from her homeland to evade a succession conflict following her parents' demise, seeking a fresh beginning in this new land. Touched by her narrative, Claus listens as Mitsuo offers her pearl necklace for gold. Iris, however, is astounded, declaring such pearls exceedingly rare, akin to a national treasure beyond monetary worth. Claus considers auctioning it, but Iris fears it could incite violence. Mitsuo had hoped to exchange the necklace for the Lord's backing. At her suggestion of disassembling it, Iris is appalled. Determined to find a means to financial stability, Mitsuo insists on gifting the necklace to Iris. Claus is concerned about the necklace's immense value, but Mitsuo persuades them, claiming a desire to open a shop and evoking memories of her mother in Iris. The conversation shifts as Theo expresses admiration for Mitsuo's Swiss knife, inquiring about other wares. Mitsuo presents a foldable knife, which Theo eagerly purchases for a gold piece, a price far exceeding its original cost. Beatrice's curiosity about Mitsuo's future shop leads to discussions of cosmetics, accessories, and possibly food. Lord Claus cautions her about the declining crop yields, to which Mitsuo responds with agricultural insights about crop rotation to preserve soil fertility. As she muses over potential inventions for profit, the mention of her parents stirs emotions within her. Overwhelmed by memories, Mitsuo is consoled by Claus's comforting presence. Wiping away her tears, Mitsuo embarks on her journey to the royal capital with Lord Claus's financial backing and a retinue of servants. Her anticipation for the future is palpable as she sets out. Upon arrival, a commendation from Lord Claus secures her a storefront. She stocks it with an array of goods, from mundane convenience items to luxurious wares. The grand opening of her shop comes and goes without a single customer, leaving Mitsuo clinging to hope. The following day is equally disheartening until a group of young women finally enters, piquing Mitsuo's spirits. The visitors are intrigued by a peculiar gadget designed for disc-scaling fish, a concept that bewilders them. They peruse but leave empty-handed, prompting Mitsuo to hastily offer a sample of shampoo, touted as a miraculous potion for revitalizing hair. The price dissuades them, yet Mitsuo's desperation leads her to propose a free meal to entice their stay. Reluctantly, the women agree, and Mitsuo ushers one into the shower, transforming the experience into a luxurious pampering with shampoo and body wash. The resulting silky hair convinces the group of the product's enchantment, leading to their purchase along with a brooch. As hunger strikes, Mitsuo prepares a meal, astonishing the women with flameless cooking, which stirs whispers of witchcraft. However, their skepticism is soon replaced by delight as they savor the surprisingly delectable instant soup. The presentation of fish elicits shock, yet the taste wins them over. Mitsuo's culinary showcase continues, each dish earning their admiration. In gratitude, Mitsuo bestows upon them chocolate to share, a sweet conclusion to their unexpected encounter. With her first sale complete, Mitsuo watches the girls depart, hopeful they'll spread word of her shop. Yet the girls harbor fears, suspecting witchcraft in the chocolate Mitsuo gifted them. Obliged to share it, they present the treat to Marcel, their household's head chef. To their relief, Marcel is enchanted by the chocolate's richness. The lady of the house arrives amidst their explanation and expresses interest in purchasing the shampoo. Marcel's curiosity about the fresh fish they consumed leads to bewilderment, given the distance from any fishing village. The Lord dispatches Marcel to uncover the source of Mitsuo's mysterious provisions. Upon visiting her shop, Marcel is intrigued by the fish scaler and selects various items. His inquiry into the scaler's purpose reveals the capital's lack of fish, explaining the girl's earlier astonishment. Marcel, seeking to procure fish for an upcoming debutante ball, reveals his role as chef for the Rainer household. The event is crucial for the young Miss Adelaide's introduction to society, and the Rainer status as a new noble family adds pressure. Sensing an opportunity to assist, Mitsuo proposes a consultancy service to address their challenges. Lord Rainer and his wife later partake in a tasting at Mitsuo's establishment, where they're captivated by the array of dishes. The Lord proposes hiring Mitsuo for the ball's catering, but she declines, seeking a more comprehensive role in orchestrating the entire affair. To her surprise, they agree. As they prepare to depart, the Lord's wife requests additional shampoo and body wash. Mitsuo obliges, providing a premium version that fetches a higher price, furthering her success in this new world. In the Rainer household, Mitsuo confers with Marcel, who stresses the importance of ample food preparation to avoid offending guests. Mitsuo delves into a cookbook, seeking recipes suitable for mass production. Taking command in the kitchen, she instructs the cooks on the culinary techniques required for the dishes. During a practice session, Adelaide arrives and Mitsuo escorts her to her shop for a private dress fitting, instructing the guards to remain outside. Blindfolded, Adelaide is whisked away to Earth by Mitsuo's teleportation ability, where a tailor takes her measurements and presents a variety of dress designs. Mitsuo reassures Adelaide of her parents' efforts and her own commitment to the event's success. As the ball approaches, Mitsuo is consumed with preparations, leaving her shop unattended. On the night of the ball, the initial reception to the food is lukewarm. However, the atmosphere shifts when Rainer expresses his gratitude to the guests and cues the performance. Mitsuo, speaking through a speaker, unveils Adelaide in a stunning white dress, captivating the audience. The illusion of a floral field, created by a projector, adds to the enchantment. Adelaide's subsequent display in armor and the narration by Mitsuo leave the guests in awe. With the formal introduction of Adelaide complete, Mitsuo reveals the availability of exotic dishes. The presence of fish among the offerings causes a stir, but its delectable taste wins over the skeptics. Amidst the festivities, Mitsuo is abruptly pulled aside by Iris, who expresses concern over the shop's consistent closure. Claus and Iris inquire about Mitsuo's presence, to which she cites business reasons. Another urgent tug comes from a cook, informing her of the dwindling food supply, a result of the guests' voracious appetite for the novel cuisine. Mitsuo excuses herself to rally the disheartened kitchen staff, reminding them of the importance of their task. With a surplus of potatoes at her disposal, Mitsuo directs the kitchen staff to prepare fries. The addition of this simple yet novel dish, alongside the desserts, delights the guests. The ball is a resounding success, leaving the nobility in awe of the entertainment and culinary offerings. Post-celebration, Mitsuo reopens her shop to a burgeoning clientele and profits handsomely, earning 260 gold pieces, equivalent to 26 million yen. Capitalizing on the event's success, she plans to sell photographs to the nobles. However, her business is interrupted by a demanding visitor, the head chef for Baron Turk, who insists on acquiring fish. Despite Mitsuo's refusal and his growing aggression, the situation is diffused by the timely arrival of Iris, who expresses concern over Mitsuo's absence. Claus' appearance further intimidates the chef, prompting his hasty retreat. Mitsuo returns with Claus and Iris to a warm reception from Beatrice, who invades the splendor of Adelaide's ball. Her request for Mitsuo's assistance with her own debutante ball is met with a nervous but affirmative response. During a shared meal, Claus praises the ball's success, but inquires about the origins of Mitsuo's food and merchandise. Mitsuo fabricates a story of receiving these items from friends back home, a tale met with skepticism, but ultimately accepted as part of her enigmatic nature. Alexis's flirtatious compliments are met with Mitsuo's recollection of his attentions towards Adelaide. The evening progresses with discussions on agricultural improvements. Later, in the privacy of her room, Mitsuo and Beatrice brainstorm ideas for an extravagant debutante ball, complete with a grand carriage, sumptuous food, and a fireworks display. Beatrice's curiosity about Mitsuo's romantic experiences leads to an awkward moment when Mitsuo realizes she's being prodded for information on behalf of her brothers, who have paid Beatrice to inquire. Mitsuo cleverly turns the tables, offering Beatrice gold to feed them misleading answers. The following day, as rain threatens, Mitsuo contemplates adding umbrellas to her inventory. Her musings are interrupted by a tense encounter with a suspicious man, which escalates until a group of adventurers intervenes, capturing the would-be assailant. Intrigued by the adventurers, Mitsuo proposes a mission. She wishes to join their next hunt as an observer and potential merchant of adventurer gear. The group, consisting of Sen, Sep, Grit, and Elsa, agrees to the arrangement. As they embark on their journey, Mitsuo's unconventional attire raises eyebrows, but the expedition presses on into the forest. During a rest, the adventurers share their struggles with finding consistent work, grateful for Mitsuo's employment. The day's task is herb gathering, followed by setting up camp. Mitsuo's introduction of an instant tent impresses the group, and when the challenge of starting a fire arises, she effortlessly ignites it with modern tools, showcasing her resourcefulness. In the evening's calm, Mitsuo generously offers her surplus of minestrone soup to the group, who find it exceptionally tasty. They're equally impressed by her other culinary creations, and Sven hints that nobility and even the military might be potential customers. Mitsuo's vision is to price her goods affordably for everyone, a sentiment that touches the group deeply. Preparing for bed, Mitsuo dons her bathing suit for a wash, but her scan attire shocks her companions, prompting a hasty cover-up by the women. Despite Mitsuo's invitation to join her, they remain bewildered by her customs. The next day's hunt sees Elsa miss a shot, but Mitsuo, leveraging her crossbow skills honed with mercenaries, successfully downs a bird, leaving the group astounded. Later, a restroom break turns into a wild encounter with a boar, which Mitsuo dispatches with her firearm, disguising the deed as a crossbow kill to maintain her cover. Returning to the city, the adventurers celebrate their fruitful venture. Grit's curiosity about the lighter's cost leads to a discussion on gender roles in cooking. Mitsuo's display of a swimsuit magazine causes a stir, but she clarifies cultural differences, agreeing to adapt to local norms. As Mitsuo contemplates her shop's inventory, she ponders quicker ways to amass wealth. The idea of selling the magazine crosses her mind, but she ultimately deems it unwise. Mitsuo's artistic endeavors lead her to a quarry, where she attempts to craft sculptures via teleportation. Despite her efforts, the resulting statues are far from masterpieces. Yet, when a man purchases them for their supposed power to repel evil spirits, Mitsuo is left pondering the odd success. Her shop, lacking a sign, still attracts a noble customer, Sabine, who purchases shampoo and other items with ease. After Sabine's departure, Mitsuo notices a suspicious man tailing her and intervenes, fearing for her store's reputation. Confronting the man and his accomplices in an alley, Mitsuo brandishes a taser, incapacitating one and earning the moniker Messenger from the startled group. She embellishes this title to Messenger of Lightning, using her taser to fend off the attackers until guards arrive and arrest them. Sabine is revealed to be a princess, and Mitsuo, dubbed the Messenger of Lightning by the guards, is escorted to the palace. There, the royal family expresses gratitude for her bravery. The king, struggling with his vision, confides in Mitsuo about his reliance on a magnifying glass to read small text. Mitsuo presents the king with a pair of spectacles, confident they will improve his vision. Upon trying them, the king marvels at the clarity they provide. His chancellor, Sar, shares in the amazement, grateful for the newfound alternative to retirement. The king's interest in Mitsuo's wares grows, but she humorously clarifies that her inventory does not include women, a jest the king appreciates, recognizing her independence. Back at her shop, Mitsuo reflects on her quirky self-appointed title, hoping it won't lead to future complications. The next day, Nelson, president of the Alder Trading Company, demands ownership of her store, citing his royal connections. Mitsuha defers, requesting a day to consult her business partner. Sabine, now a frequent visitor and like a younger sister to Mitsuha, inadvertently learns of Mitsuha's television and becomes a daily viewer. Mitsuha entrusts Sabine with a letter for Sar. When Nelson returns, intent on finalizing the takeover, Sar's timely arrival disrupts his plans. Sar chastises Nelson for his actions, severing the Alder Company's ties with the palace due to his attempt to abduct the king's daughter, Sabine. Nelson, recognizing his grave error, resigns and warns others against crossing Mitsuha. The king and Sar, relieved to sever ties with the corrupt Alder Company, admire Mitsuha's resolve. The king's fascination with Mitsuha deepens. In the shop, as Mitsuha and Sabin enjoy their television time, Alina enters, seeking assistance. She shares the challenges her family's diner faces due to the unwanted advances of a rival restaurateur's son. Alina's affections lay with Anil, the apprentice at their diner, not the suitor whose advances she spurned. In retaliation, the suitor's father, a rival restaurateur, orchestrated a scheme to usurp their business, coercing their lead cook to resign and injuring Alina's father, Baron. The diner's doors remained shut for days, and in desperation, Alina sought Mitsuha's aid. Upon meeting the diner staff, Mitsuha learned of Baron's desire to recruit a new chef. She cautioned against potential sabotage from the rivals' camp and proposed reopening with the current team. Baron's injury and Anil's inexperience posed challenges, but Mitsuha was undeterred, suggesting direct mentorship to expedite Anil and Alina's culinary skills. Despite concerns over staffing, Mitsuha's reputation for her Yamano cuisine had soared since the ball, attracting aristocratic attention. Rumors circulated that Alina's restaurant offered this exclusive fare, and within a week, business resumed with a flourish, targeting affluent patrons. Adventurers Grid and Ilsa were enlisted for service, adapting well to their new roles. As the diner thrived, a suspicious figure loomed outside, the rival owner. Mitsuha remained unfazed, anticipating his inevitable misstep. The diner's success peaked, drawing noble crowds eager for the famed Yamea cuisine. However, capacity constraints worried Mitsuha, especially amid talks of delivery delays due to border monsters. The rival owner, flanked by his entourage, burst in, accusing the diner of fraudulent claims and demanding Baron's arrest. Without evidence, the confrontation hinged on Marcel's judgment, the reputed heir of the Yamea legacy. Marcel's verdict would come only after a taste test, leaving the diner's fate hanging in the balance. Marcel's critique of the meal turned into an emotional revelation as he recognized Mitsuha's culinary teachings, which surpassed his own knowledge. The rival restaurateur's confidence crumbled when he realized Mitsuha was the mastermind behind the Yamea cuisine. Mitsuha offered Marcel a chance to learn directly from her in the kitchen, an opportunity he eagerly accepted. The situation escalated when Claus and his family, followed by the king himself, arrived unexpectedly. Mitsuha seized the moment to accuse the rival owner of injuring Baron, leading to his arrest. While the restaurant's unique status was solidified, Alina's frustration with Mitsuha stemmed from unfulfilled romantic aspirations with Baron. However, Baron openly welcomed Alina into his family, resolving the tension. Reflecting on her modest earnings, Mitsuha found joy in the friendships formed and the adventure itself. She pondered over Colette's well-being and sent a letter, which arrived under the curious gaze of Colette's father. Mitsuha faced a dilemma with an excess of unsold fireworks. An invitation to a barbecue led Mitsuha to contribute otherworldly rabbits, which the mercenary captain suggested could be a lucrative product. The gathering was a welcome respite for the mercenaries amidst a lull in significant assignments. Sen and Sep, two adventurers, expressed interest in Mitsuha's instant tent but lacked sufficient funds. Mitsuo, seeing an opportunity, offered them a discount in exchange for future guild patronage. Chancellor Sar's report to the king painted Mitsuo as an enigmatic yet benign figure, prompting the king to value their relationship. As border troubles loomed, the adventurers stumbled upon a ravaged carriage in the forest. Sabine's visit to Mitsuo's shop ended with an urgent summons to the palace, where the king awaited with an emergency request. The kingdom was on the brink of war with the Alder Empire, a threat that seemed implausible given the empire's known capabilities. The king, concerned for Princess Sabine's safety, requested Mitsuo to escort her abroad. Mitsuo, however, was determined to defend her shop and homeland. Summoned to a war council, Mitsuo encountered Alexis, who was representing his father. The meeting was disrupted by an assailant posing as a messenger, whom Mitsuo and Alexis bravely confronted. Despite their efforts, Alexis was gravely injured. Mitsuo, realizing the limitations of withholding advanced technology, resolved to fully utilize her resources against the Empire. At the mercenary base, Mitsuo sought aid for Alexis and proposed an alliance to combat the Empire, offering a substantial reward. Skeptical, the captain refused until Mitsuo's demonstration of teleportation convinced him of her otherworldly origins. Investigating a commotion, they discovered a group besieged by goblins. The captain and Mitsuo sprang into action, aiding the stranded travelers and ensuring their safety. As the goblins neared, the obstruction was cleared, allowing the caravans to proceed. The river crossing proved difficult, prompting Mitsuo to enlist the captain's protection with a coin's toss. Their initial assault on the goblins was futile until precise headshots proved effective. With ammunition dwindling, Mitsuo contemplated retreat but chose to stand with the villagers. She devised a plan, leaving the captain to fend off the goblins while she vanished momentarily. Upon her return, Mitsuo ignited a blaze to deter the goblins and unleashed a barrage of fireworks, resulting in disarray and the defeat of the enemy handler. The villagers rejoiced, and the captain, now a believer in Mitsuo's tale, agreed to join the battle against the Empire. Rallying the troops with a rousing speech, Mitsuo led the charge, transporting them to another realm. Back at the palace, dire news of an impending enemy force reached the king. As despair set in, Mitsuo's arrival with reinforcements lifted spirits. She assured the king of her commitment to their defense. The forces dispersed to secure the gates, with Mitsuo vowing to safeguard the people. Recognized as the messenger of lightning, she inspired the crowd's cheers. Outside the gates, the enemy awaited, mistaking Mitsuo's approach for a delay tactic. A negotiator was dispatched, only to be wounded by Mitsuo's sniper. The sight of firearms bewildered the enemy, and Mitsuo's troops targeted the monster handlers, sowing chaos within the enemy ranks. The general, in a desperate move, unleashed the monsters, but Mitsuo's forces repelled them, turning the tide back onto the Empire's soldiers. As the battle raged on, the tide turned grim for the enemy troops. With their numbers dwindling, morale plummeted and surrender seemed imminent once their ranks were reduced by a third. Just as they began their retreat, a squadron of wyvern riders descended upon them. The enemy commander rallied his forces for a skyward assault, aiming to pierce the capital's defenses with a hail of spears. Yet the mercenaries were not caught unawares. Their anti-aircraft artillery roared to life, shredding the wyvern riders in an instant and obliterating years of the Empire's investment in training and resources. Amidst the chaos, the earth trembled as a colossal ancient dragon emerged, stunning both friend and foe. The king understood at once. The Empire's sudden onslaught and their dominion over beasts were now clear. The dragon lunged forward in attack, but Mitsuo was quick to act, deploying a smokescreen and projecting her image via drone to parley with the beast. The dragon, obstinate, unleashed its fiery breath, which Mitsuo narrowly evaded through teleportation. She commanded her forces to open fire, and the dragon, besieged by bullets, began to falter. In response, it conjured a protective barrier, deflecting the onslaught. Undeterred, Mitsuo devised a strategy. As the dragon lowered its guard to attack, she teleported daringly before it and fired a rocket straight into its gaping maw. The impact shattered a tooth, and as the dragon reeled from the blow, Mitsuo retreated to safety. The barrage continued, and sensing defeat, the dragon fled. The enemy general's pleas went unheeded as Mitsuo's forces pressed their advantage, driving the empire back. In the aftermath, the kingdom soldiers discovered the dragon's dislodged tooth. Mitsuo generously bestowed it upon the captain as a token of victory. The city rejoiced in their triumph, and Mitsuo was hailed as a hero. At the palace, the king inquired about her absent allies, to which she replied they had departed. Sabine arrived, relieved at Mitsuo's well-being. Following the events, Mitsuo received a concerned letter from Colette and a royal summons from Sabine. At the palace, the king honored the war's heroes, bestowing Alexis with nobility for his valor. When Mitsuo's recognition came, she selflessly requested that her comrades be compensated, fulfilling her promise of a hefty reward. Moved by her gesture, the nobility pooled their wealth to fulfill the debt. The king, impressed, asked if Mitsuo desired anything further. With humble grace, she sought only to be named a citizen of the kingdom, a request the king was all too pleased to grant. The king grants Mitsuo the title of Viscountess. She brings the gold to the captain, who urges her to keep it, revealing that he sold the dragon's tooth to a professor. The academic's analysis predicts infinite applications, ensuring the captain's imminent wealth. Mitsuo questions whether they'll retire from mercenary life, but the captain assures her they'll be available whenever she needs them. In the royal court, Mitsuo's nobility is officially recognized. The king suggests she accept Alexis's title in his absence, but she declines, causing a stir among the nobles. Just then, Alexis arrives, ready to receive his title in person. Mitsuo later visits Colette and shares her recent experiences. When Colette begins to treat her with undue formality, Mitsuo insists that despite her noble title, she remains the same person Colette first met. The story concludes with Mitsuo closing her shop, moving to her new lands to enjoy her retirement. And with that, our story comes to an end. If you've enjoyed this recounting, please show your support with a like and subscribe for more stories.